Kumusta kayo grade 5 learners? Tayo pa rin ay nasa third quarter, this time, week 7. Samahan niyo akong muli sa ating bagong topic. After going through this lesson, you are expected to measure time using a 12-hour and 24-hour clock, reads time and 12-hour and 24-hour clock, calculates time in the different world time zone in relation to the Philippines, and solve problems involving time. In this lesson, you will demonstrate understanding time. As a learner, you are expected to measure time using a 12-hour and a 24-hour clock, calculate time in the different world time zones in relation to the Philippines, and solve problems involving time. Look at the pictures below. These are objects used to tell time. Time influences our daily activities such that we should keep track of it. We have to use our time wisely. From ancient times to about the end of the 16th century, sundials were used. Later, several devices were invented to keep time, like the candle clock and the water clock. Today, we have more sophisticated watches, digital clocks, and other electronic devices to help us tell time. Notice that AM and PM are placed at the end to denote whether the time is in the morning or afternoon. They are abbreviations where the 12 clock is used. Antemeridiem or AM means this time is after 12 midnight and before 12 noon. So, 12:01 AM to 11:59 AM. Postmeridiem or PM means this time is after 12 noon and before 12 midnight. So, 12:01 PM to 11:59 PM. Meanwhile, the 24-hour clock, oftentimes called as military clock, since soldiers are the ones mostly use it, does not require AM and PM to be written after the time as it starts at 0000 hour, which is 12 midnight. Then back to 0000 hour after 2359 hour or 11:59 PM. Instead, H or hours is placed at the end to indicate the use of 24-hour clock format. The table below shows the correspondence between 12-hour clock, 12-hour clock to 24-hour clock, 12 midnight, that is 0000 hour, 12:01 AM to 11:59 AM, in 24-hour clock, that is 0001 hour to 11:59 hour, 12 noon to 11:59 PM, that is 1200 hour to 2359 hour. Look at the illustration below, showing to tell time using 12-hour and 24-hour clock. Let us take a look on this figure below. Have you seen to the airport and see clocks with different times? Let us think about world time zones and the time in the Philippines. Different times at different places in the world are caused by the movement of the Earth. 15 degrees longitude every hour. Since there are 24 hours in a day, there are 24 standard time zones. That is 24 hours times 15 degrees equals 360 degrees. For example, if it is 5:07 a.m. in London or UK, it is also 5:07 a.m. in the places to the left and right of London or UK. If it is 6:07 a.m. in Paris or France, it is also 6:07 a.m. in the places to the left and right of Paris or France. Suppose it is 5:07 a.m. in United Kingdom. What do you think is the time here in the Philippines? To see the relationship of time in certain places to the time in our country, let us look at the table below and note that positive sign means ahead and negative signs means behind. Ating pag-aralan ang capital, countries, difference from Philippines Standard Time or PST, and examples. Halimbawa, dito sa Pilipinas, PST, today is Saturday, 300 hours. At ang oras sa iba't ibang bansa, sa Argentina, sa Australia, in China, in Egypt, in Greece, in India, in Japan, in Laos, in New Zealand, in Poland, in Saudi Arabia, in Venezuela, and in USA. We will be using the table in identifying the time in a particular place as how it is related to the time in our country. Now let us apply our understanding both in measuring time using 12-hour and 24-hour clock and the world time zones and the time in the Philippines in solving word problem. Let us take this first example. A bus leaves Manila at 2210 hours in Thursday and arrives in Baguio hours later. At what time the day did the bus arrive in Baguio? Express your answer both in 12-hour and 24-hour clock formats. To solve, the first step is to understand the problem. What is asked in the problem? At what time and day did the bus arrive in Baguio? Express your answer both in 12-hour and 24-hour clock format. What are the given facts? A bus leaves Manila at 2210 hours on Thursday and arrives in Baguio 6.5 hours later. The second step is plan what to do. Add 6.5 to 2210 hours, then express the answers both in 12-hour and 24-hour clock formats. The third step is to solve. 2210 hours is the same as 10 and 10 p.m. 6 and 1/2 hours is the same as 6 hours and 30 minutes. We will just add 6 hours and 30 minutes to both times. We will just add 6 hours and 30 minutes to both times. 22 plus 6 hours equals 28. There cannot be 28 hours, so we subtract 24 from 28, and that is equal to 4, which means a day has passed and it is already Friday. Then 10 plus 30 minutes equals 40. Therefore, the bus arrived in Baguio at 440 hours and Friday. For 12-hour format, 10 plus 6 hours equals 16. 12-hour clock, so we subtract 12 from 16, and that is 4, which means PM has passed already. It is already AM of the following day, that is Friday. And 10 plus 30 minutes equals 40. So the bus arrived in Baguio at 4:40 AM, and that is Friday. The last step is to check your answer. If you back 6 hours and 30 minutes, is the answer 2210 hours? So, if so, your answer is correct. For learning task 1, fill in the table by converting from 12-hour clock to 24-hour clock and vice versa. Number 1, 7:24 a.m. in 24-hour format, that is 724 hours. Number 2, 3:35 a.m. and that is 335 hours. How about number 3, number 4, and number 5? This time, 24-hour format to 12-hour format. Number 6, 1200 hour. That is 12 noon. Number 7, 2245 hours. So, minus 12, and that is 10 and 45 p.m. How about number 8, number 9, and number 10? Learning task 2. Identify the time being asked. Number 1, half past midnight. That is 12:30 a.m. 030 hours. Number 2, 2 hours to 9 p.m. That is 7 p.m. 1900 hours. How about number 3? Subukan nyo. Number 4 and number 5. Learning task 3. With the following given time in the Philippines, determine the equivalent time in the given country. Express your answers both in 12-hour and 24-hour clock formats. Number 1, in the Philippines, 230 hours. What time is it in Argentina? Then subtract 11 hours, and that is 1330 hours or 1:30 p.m. Number 2, 5:15 a.m. in the Philippines. What time is it in Australia? Add 2 hours, and that is 7:15 a.m. or 715 hours. How about number 3? Number 4 and number 5. Jamie is a 5th grade student from Gatid Elementary School. She is advised to answer her first module at 8 a.m. She needs 10 minutes to eat her breakfast, 20 minutes to take a bath, and 10 minutes to get dressed. If she wants to answer her first subject at 8 a.m., what time does Jamie need to start preparing for her first module? Use the 4 steps in solving word problem and express your answer in 12-hour and 24-hour clock. To answer the problem, we can apply the Polya's 4 steps. Number 1, understand what is asked. Time does Jamie need to start preparing for her first module? What are the given facts? 10 minutes to eat her breakfast, 20 minutes to take a bath, 10 minutes to get dressed, and 8 a.m. Number 2, plan. What operation will be used? Addition and subtraction. What is the number sentence? 8 a.m. Subtract the sum of 10 minutes plus 20 minutes plus 10 minutes equals n. Number 3, solve. 10 plus 20 plus 10 equals 40 minutes. Then subtract 7:20 a.m. Jamie need to start preparing for her first module at 7:20 a.m. Express the answer both in 12-hour and 24-hour clock format. Number 4, check. If you add 40 minutes at 7:20 a.m., is the answer 8 a.m.? If so, your answer is correct. Solve for the following word problem. Number 1. A train is leaving Divisoria on Monday late afternoon and is supposed to arrive in Naga at 10:33 a.m. on Tuesday. If the estimated journey time is 10 hours and 20 minutes, at what time should the train leave Divisoria? Express your answer both in 12-hour and 24-hour clock formats. Number 2. Elijah plans to visit aunt who lives in the town next to theirs. He leaves their town at 9:30 a.m. Monday. The journey takes 2 hours and 20 minutes. At what time and day will Elijah see his aunt? Then, try to solve number 3. Clarice is an online math teacher here in the Philippines and her students are in Canberra, Australia. What time should she go online if her first session starts at 7 a.m. in Canberra? Number 4, Luigi was invited by his cousin to visit Canada. The trip from Philippines to Canada is 14 hours and 30 minutes. If the plane left the Philippines at 6 a.m., what time will be able to arrive in Canada? And number 5, Tony lives in Japan. His brother Andre lives in the Philippines. Their grandmother is in India and wants to both boys to call at 2 p.m. in Japan and Philippine time. What time in India will Tony call? What time in India will Andre call? Maraming salamat muli sa pagsama nyo sa atin sa ating video. Kung nagustuhan nyo ang ating video, please like and subscribe at pindutin na rin ang notification bell para updated kayo sa mga bago pang darating na videos. Pwede kayo mag-comment at syempre, please share this to your classmates. Hanggang sa muli, paalam!